course, this does mean that exams will not take place as planned in May and June.
Well, so it's been a little while now since the whole announcement over the cancellation of exams in the UK has been announced, and the closure of colleges, and just recently there has been another announcement about how we're going to be getting results. I'm putting in quotation marks because it's not exactly results. It's sort of like a guesstimate by our teachers. It's just weird because, like, I've spent however many years of my entire life aiming to get A levels, to get into university, to study what I want to, and my GCSE results that I needed to get into the college I needed to get into, to sit the A levels that I needed to sit, to get the grade of A levels that I needed to get into university. And now the grade that I'm getting for my A levels isn't my grade at the end of it. Like, I know there's a lot of announcement, there's a lot of like statements that if you're not happy with the grade that you're going to get, you can sit the exam at the end of it. Because I've continued to learn the content while stopping off college. I've finished my A-level biology content now, so I'm on to exam practice. I've only got issue and debates to finish off in psychology, then Lattice and full P in chemistry, and then I'm done, and I just need exam practice for them. So I'm finishing the content for them because obviously going on to do a biomedical degree, they'll expect me to know at least A-level chemistry and biology, maybe not so much the psychology. So I'm just doing it out of enjoyment as well because I'm weird like that. But then could I have just sort of like, I don't know, like not done them at all and still got into uni? Because like I'll learn all that content and then I'll get my grade in August. I think they've moved the date to now, which I don't understand as well. If they're basically just going to ask our teachers to send off information about us and then give us a grade then and there, like in a week's time, why do we have to wait to August to get the results? A bit, I know they try to make it realistic, but touch annoying, because if they gave it to us earlier and we weren't so happy, we'd have more time to revise the entire 2-year content to then sit the exam in September or whenever we're going to sit it if we're not happy with it, and get our own grade. I don't see the logic in that bit. See, I had this whole like plan. I was going to continue like studying and enjoying it and being isolated in my own home out of my own enjoyment and not because everybody else was doing it, to avoid a virus, and just immerse myself continuously in studying A levels, and for the end goal of just having that long summer to just relax in and sort my room out, buy a razor, play Animal Crossing, and just not leave the house for my own like enjoyment. I can do that now earlier, so there is that sort of whole thing, but it's just sort of like been, I was so hoping for like a peak, and it's just sort of been like depression wave, to be honest. I just don't know what to do with my entire life now. Like, A levels were my entire life, and the past 2 weeks that I've been off, they send the work over. Well, my psychology teacher sends the work over on the Monday, my biology teacher uploads sporadically to YouTube, and my chemistry teacher, he's been the most organised, to be honest. He puts it in shared drive, whatever you call it, but he uploads the week's worth of lessons. So basically on the Monday I do the psychology and the chemistry, and then it's done, and then I don't look at it for the rest of the week until I get the fresh work, or I'll just use tailored tutors to look ahead and do some more exam practice. And then the biology I just did whenever I got it, but now I'm done with it. I'm just going to have to use the exam guide on tailored tutors to get more exam questions, because now it's Easter and we've sort of been emailed out saying don't email your teachers for work because it's the holiday now. So I've just sort of do that on the Monday, and then I've got the entire week to just sit there. I've now got my Switch, which is my life at the current moment with Animal Crossing. My baby. I'm getting some accessories for it, so I may have to film like an accessory haul video if you're interested in that. Give me some entertainment to do. Other than that, it's been YouTube. I've been looking at is it called EDX for like free online courses to do because I'm a nerd. And then work because I'm still classed as a key worker because I work for the post office in WH Smith, so I'm now working both on the post office side and as a WH Smith's colleague. So that's fun. That's been an amazingly entertaining week because we can only have 2 people in at a time. And I only go out for that. I completely understand why they're doing this with exams, why they're cancelling it, because there's deaths happening. It's a serious thing. My uncle lives in China. He's a teacher in China, so I like sort of saw the severity of it way back in February and January when he left, because he left from Christmas literally like a week or 2 after he left at about mid-January. He was in isolation and he's been in isolation ever since. I think they're allowed to come out their apartment every like 3 days for food and stuff, or like 3 days in a week they can come out for food, and then that's it. It's really a serious thing and I completely understand that, and I only actually leave the house now I'm not at college for work. I've not been out any other time, which is perfect for me, thank you very much. Like before this whole announcement, yes, the 1st of April I think it was, I was just so paranoid over like what grade I would get. My firm University Choice had changed my offer from conditional to unconditional before UCAS emailed out to all the unis to stop doing it, so I was sort of lucky because I'd already made it as my firm choice, so I think they just sort of did it with people who made it as the firm choice first and then did it to other people, so I was in there quick. So I am definitely going to university no matter what grade I get at the end of the day. I was just sort of worried that there was going to be like some sort of like little asterisks next to like our A-levels grades saying that they didn't actually sit an exam, or like there being a massive X like what you do when you don't sit an exam. But according to the whole announcement, there isn't going to be anything like that. It's just going to be the exact same certificate and qualification as all of the years. But I just sort of don't know. It's a complicated thing because I'd have loved to sit exams and have that whole peak and then amazing summer and feel like a normal teenager who'd done all this work for something and like done it for something. Like if it was the old modular A-levels, we would have been perfectly fine, to be honest, because we would have done like what, 5 exams previous throughout the 2 years, and we'd have only missed 1 exam at this year, so they could have marked us off like the last 5 papers out of them grades instead of the M1, and then we've got a grade that way. So maybe consider doing it that way instead of making us learn 2 full years of content and then blurting it out on a piece of paper in 2 hours or however many hours your A-level is. So government, Boris, think about it, change it again. So if we have another COVID whatever, then this won't happen and you won't give people mental breakdowns. I should be a politician. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that I know I'm going to uni, and I know there's a lot of people who may not have heard anything who are like external candidates or international students or just year 12s and year 10s who are going to be missing a huge chunk of the content. My recommendation for what I'm doing is year 11s and year 13s, make sure you do finish the course if it links to what like degree you want to go on to or what apprenticeship you want to go on to, because they're going to expect you to learn it at the end of the day. And if you chose them A-levels, then you should enjoy them A-levels and you should be happy to finish off the content. And then if you finish that, then look into like maybe what if you can learn a bit like ahead of what your uni degree or your apprenticeship's going to entail, because now you have a lot of free time, you can sort of learn like the beginnings of that and impress them when you start. And then for year 10s and year 12s, I would really recommend just do the work the teachers set you, and just make sure that you're covering the content that you would have been covering in class, because when it comes to you in a year's time and you're going to be sitting your exams and you realise, oh yeah, I sat at home them 7 months and I just played Animal Crossing, Minecraft, GTA, Doom Eternal, Half-Life, all them games that have come out right now. Or you just sort of sat there and watched the new, what is it, Lion King? Tiger King? I don't know, I don't have Netflix. No thank you, I don't want to see about tigers in enclosures. Just make sure that you're gonna learn the content, because in a year's time when you're sitting your exam and you get that paper and it's asking some weird question about the whole next section of the specification that you haven't covered, and then you'll regret it completely, and yes, you'll have another mental breakdown of students, and that would not be good. So what I recommend is, there's a lot of lives going on YouTube, there's a lot of free content out there now. There's your teachers for year 12s who are studying maths, biology, chemistry. You know what I'm going to say, just go on to just use tailored tutors. They have the Exambulance, they're doing lives every day for both year 13s and year 12s, so you can even get ahead in the year 13 content and do that, because it's just you've got so much time, so much free time now to like get ahead. Don't just waste it. You don't have to, like, you can now do it that it's not as an intense section of time. Like how before I was sort of doing it like I was intense, just I didn't do anything else, I didn't play anything. The only thing that I did otherwise was work and Animal Crossing. Now I can just chillax and do whatever I want. I've got my sewing stuff out, I've got my crocheting stuff out, so I can do that sometimes whenever I feel whatever. I've got my Switch now, which again I shall say is my life. I need to think of a name for it. If you have any name recommendations, leave them below. Thank you. I'm gonna try and do some yoga, because sitting in this chair for the next 7 months and then doing more lifting at work is not going to be good for my back. So yeah, just sort of stay safe and you can now learn at your own pace, and you can learn in your bedroom, and you can learn in your own environment, in the nice warm toasty Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin blanket that you may have, or any type of other blanket surrounded by squishmallows, instead of getting up and going out to college and with the risk of catching this virus and then passing it on to other people. Just use the time wisely and don't think about the future. Think about the work that you're going to have to do now, because this is the work you'd have been doing in college anyway. And then once you've done the work that you have been set, because it's all you would have been doing in class, then use your time however you want. Do some, obviously it's scheduling some revision times and exam practice, because even if you are year 13s and year 11s, because at the end of the day, when we get our results in August, you may really need to resit. I think that I'm going to be fine with my A-levels anyway. I know I've got a place at uni anyway, but I would really like good A-level grades. But I think, well, my predicted grades are 3 A's, and I think I've done enough work to get at least 3 A's as my predicted by my teachers, because I've continually been getting like above C's at least in all my subjects. I don't think I've even ever got a C in psychology. I think I've always been B, A and A star. I think I've had 1 C in biology, and then maybe I had 1 C this year in chemistry, and I definitely had a C last year in chemistry. And then they're obviously accounting for homework, coursework, they've got mock exams, they probably use other assessments that they've set, any like I'm assuming lab books may be accounted for if you're doing a science. And then there's obviously like art coursework, photography coursework, and all the other types of things. So I think I'll get okay A-level grades, I'm hoping anyway. And my teachers know how hard I work anyway, and I'm sure your teachers know who you are, so they will give you a predicted grade that reflects what they think you will have gotten based on the effort you will have given in these past couple of years. So yeah, just stay safe, stay at home if you don't have to go out, only shop for essentials. Everybody in my family now works, my mother, my sister and moi work in retail, so please only go out if you need essentials. We don't want to be getting all your germs. If you're just coming out for a colouring book or something stupid, then and try and help out like other people in your community as well. Like if you are going out to get your essentials, if you've got an elderly neighbour or people who are isolating, just maybe give them a ring and see if they need anything picking up. Don't be horrible to like NHS staff, and just be thankful that you're healthy and help those who might not be. So yeah, back to my Animal Crossing.